Hello, dear ones. I'm delighted that you're here with me in this beautiful moment of now for our forecast. Woo-wee, we have a big one. So our sun is opposing the Great Attractor. This is massive. I've got the forecast for tier 1, 2, and 3. So this is a full forecast. And I first want to dive into what is the Great Attractor, because I myself did not even know what it was recently until I learned, and then a ton of different channel messages came to me as I learned about it. So I want to share that with you as well. So what is the Great Attractor? It is somewhere between 150 and 250 light years away from Earth. And it's essentially what is described as a massive gravitational anomaly in the intergalactic space. And it's essentially like a central gravitational focal point. So imagine just like this just massive pull. And it is pulling the Milky Way and literally tens of thousands. I saw one estimation was over 100,000 galaxies towards it. So we're all just like, whew, like literally just getting sucked into it. And what's interesting about it, it's not like a single massive object like a black hole. Instead, it's described as an invisible concentration of both matter, so like stars and galaxies, and large amounts of dark matter that's essentially invisible. And the interesting thing about it is it's located directly behind the plane of the Milky Way center. So it's like just outside of kind of visibility, essentially interstellar dust. I guess there's clouds and such that cloud it. So it blocks visible light. So astronomers have to study it by using infrared or X-ray telescopes to try to observe it. So it is a massive pull. And imagine our sun is literally in direct opposition. So on June 4th at 6:05 p.m. Pacific time, there will be an exact 180-degree opposition. So it's something that massive. This is why it gathered my attention. And this is a point that you should also look at in your own birth charts. So what's interesting is I have the Great Attractor in my tropical chart in a partile conjunction with my ascendant. So it is literally everything that I am pulling everything towards it. And it's amazing because I feel this, like, if I go to a grocery store, multiple people will talk to me. There's just things happening, like things just come at me. It's likely from this energy. So let's talk through the 3 tiers of this forecast. Starting with tier 1, unawakened ego, unawakened humanity, the matrix. This opposition is going to feel like a massive tug of war. Any opposition is always going to be the opposite, the polar opposite, but this is a huge one, because not only is our entire galaxy being sucked towards it, our sun is also in direct opposition. So this is that tension, and the grandest tension, imagine, between two opposites. This is inviting that equilibrium dance between the two. The Great Attractor is at roughly 14 degrees Sagittarius, and this puts our sun at roughly 14 degrees Gemini. This means we are standing in the second decan. So this is also going to flare the ego into what it wants, what should be done, and fighting for, often with force, for those things. So imagine with Gemini, we're talking about mental. So this is mental chaos, and the ego justifying the mental chaos. This is those unawakened humans using their charm and their intellect to play both sides of the fence. This is building artificial or superficial alliances through gossip, telling people what they want to hear, and using logic to justify their lack of commitment, or the us versus them dual mindset. What this will sound like is the unawakened human expressing, I constantly shift my words and opinions depending on who I'm talking to, because I am deeply afraid of picking a side, essentially, and facing conflict. For tier 2, this is stepping off the mutable cross. That's where Gemini's at. So the monster that you are fighting here in this battle is the ego's anxiety. Essentially that warring, dualistic mind and the terrifying fear of silence. So constantly trying to fill it in. So the exact heavy lifting on how to slay this monster is actively choosing to sit in the open room with absolutely zero mental stimulation, being with the thoughts, being with the moment, and refusing to reach for a distraction. Meanwhile, the ego and every cell in your brain is screaming for a dopamine hit or some data to fill in that space. So Venus is the esoteric ruler of Gemini. This is where you are wielding consciously Venus to harmonize the duality, to bring that scattered intellect and kind of wrapping it all up and bringing it to your higher self and your higher intuition and weaving that telepathic rainbow bridge. How can I pull these two dualities into the same wave? And being that it's the sun, we'll see it kind of in anything and everything. But it will be loud and front and center. Now shifting to tier 3 for my initiates. The sun is instead in Taurus, and this putting the Great Attractor right into Scorpio. And specifically, we're talking about 15 degrees. So this again is that Decan 2. This is connecting with the pure frequency of Ray 2, which is love and wisdom. And Vulcan is the hierarchical ruler of Taurus. So you, my friend, are standing in the shoes of the master blacksmith. And because it's in Taurus, you have already been freed. You've already risen above protecting your stuff and the fear, the terrifying fear of not having enough. Instead, you wield Vulcan to literally forge the light codes that are coming in from this energy and pouring them into the physical bedrock. And this comes into both the new earth and injecting the matrix bedrock, turning the heavy lead specifically in the matrix into pure gold. And that is what is then poured into the new earth as well. So you are the unattached conduit for the Great Attractor's gravity, co-creating with physical matter effortlessly, beautifully. And you're drawing in also, being that it's Taurus, you're drawing in the massive resources to fund the soul's vision, your oversoul, your monad, the vision of what that is that's greater. And the key here is all while being willing to lose it all tomorrow. It is completely unattached. And to sum it all up, because the Great Attractor is a terrifying void when we look at it through tier 1, unawakened human, unawakened humanity, unawakened ego, as well as almost like a fatalic obsession. Because it's like, what is this thing? It's sucking us in. Oh, where are we going? And so the Great Attractor feels like in that tier 1, a black hole. We're going in. We're getting lost. We're getting sucked in. And because the ego is clinging to structures, 3D structures, careers, material wealth, toxic relationships to feel secure, it experiences this massive, basically cosmic pull as a terrifying loss of control. Where for the disciple, this is truly the crucible of ultimate surrender. It is doing the heavy lifting and the shadow work, knowing that you're feeling this undeniable, intense pull towards that Great Attractor and really, truly towards your true north. But you're also in that pull, releasing, letting go, opening your hands to release the remaining matrix attachments that become exposed in the process. And the Great Attractor, the essence that I feel, it's demanding the sacrifice of the lesser for the greater. It is being willing to let go. Even though you're feeling this, you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know where I'm going, but I have to trust and have faith. That is what this is. And so therefore, for my initiates, tier 3, this is the cosmic magnetism, essentially opening up your heart to be a localized stargate to allow that intense pull towards destiny. And therefore, your vessel becomes part of that gravitational pull as well. So this overall, this opposition is about truly the willingness to surrender to the light, to the pull, and learning that your greatest fear of the unknown can be transmuted, can be turned into and turned onto your most profound source of magnetic power. If anything I shared here resonates with you, I'll put links in the show notes for y'all to check out and dive into more of this beautiful esoteric wisdom. I got my soul tech stack down there. If you haven't checked your chart, be sure to. Because understanding where this also hits in your matrix mansion is going to be critical for you as you continue to blueprint your hero's journey. So much love and light to you, dear one. Until we meet again, namaste.